Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be discussing the beautiful, terrifying aspects behind writing a book or finishing your first rough draft. My name is Bree, or Unknown. I have been writing since 2015. I self-published one book in 2017. I pulled it off the shelf 2 years ago because I was not proud of it. And I just finished my first rough draft for my fantasy series book 1. Now, whenever it comes to writing, in general, there's 2 different pathways that you can take as a writer. And there's technically a third, which is like a hybrid mix of the 2, but take it as you will. Here are the 2 main ones that I was taught about. That is pantsing and planning, the double P's. So pantsing is where you can sit down, start typing or writing, and go from start to finish without having to stop and build out an outline or chapter planning or anything like that. And if you're able to be a pantser, kudos to you. I am not. I am a planner. So this video really will be centered around the planner type style, but I will go ahead and give a few mentions towards the pantsing. But like I said, with pantsing, whenever you pants a story, basically, you can sit down, like I said, and start from beginning and get all the way to the end without having to make any outlines or anything like that. Me personally, that ain't about me. I ain't about that. I can't do that, but props to you if you can. Either way, it works. As long as you are writing your story in the way that you'd like to, believe it or not, that's what matters. Now, whenever it comes to planning, you've got different levels of a planner that you can be. Any of them are amazing. Whichever one you want to do, that's great. If you're a pantser, that's great as well. I will never diss other writing methods because they might not work for me, but they work for other people. So it might work for you. But I am on the level of planner that is almost kind of weird. If you've been on my channel before, or if you've been to my TikTok, then you know that I do what is called a lore book, or at least I did for this fantasy series. I have just started rough draft 1 for a completely different series because I'm trying to take a break from my current fantasy series so that whenever I go back to it, I'll be more refreshed and I won't be so downhilled on the story, because I want to write book 2, draft 1, or draft 2 of book 1, but for that whole series, I'm taking a break. That way it can get edited down and then I can go back to it with a fresh mind and different writing at the time. But I made a lore book for my first fantasy series book, and what it is it's like a journal. This is the current lore book for the new book that I'm working on, but it's a lot thinner. If you've been on my channel, you know that my lore book for the first series I'm working on is a thick lore book. It's like that thick, and I did make that a selective choice because that book series, I have at least 9 already planned out, and I don't know if there's going to be more. So I wanted to keep it a thick lore book in case I had to add anything and everything. And my lore book personally just has like creatures, characters, story moments that are very key point in the story that no matter what editing happens, I will keep those points in the story. I also use it for like settings, locations, different diary entries from my characters, and that's just the lore book. So that's like basic sort of, when you read a book and you really love it and you start building your own little journal towards it with all the characters and stuff, that's basically what a lore book is. It's like free fan fiction for my own series. But then aside from the lore book, you have a multitude of options that you can use. I journaled for my characters. I actually got a journal specifically for just the characters to be journaling throughout the story. That way, if I'm working on a scene and I'm not sure how to express how the character would feel, I could journal it out and then fully write it with that character's thoughts on the moments, which is a lot. And it is in no way something you are required to ever do as a writer. I just do a lot of extra. Now, if I'm correct, the book is sitting at like a little under 100,000 words, and that was because I had like gone in depth on so many things. But the basic, easiest way to start a story plan is basically if you ever took high school in America, I don't know, whenever you would have to write things, they would tell you to write one sentence per paragraph and then kind of extend it out with the arguments and everything like that. You're basically going to treat it like that. If you are somebody that you want to have the opener, the ending, everything in between all planned out, then write it in small form, short form on a planner, and then you can branch out from there. I know some people will take sticky notes and put like chapter 1, and this is what's going to happen on the sticky note. They'll pop that on their wall, and they'll do that for every chapter, and then they'll pull the chapter notes down as they write the chapter. There's so many methods. And there's a big chance that if you've gotten to this point in the video, you're looking for like some secret tidbit trick to getting your novel done or getting your series done or anything like that. And the biggest piece of advice I have, which every writer hates to hear, is write. And I hate to hear that whenever I'm like, I don't know what to do. How am I going to finish this? Right? But it does suck sometimes. And I think that if you are not a very disciplined person, you have to start trying to figure out how to push yourself to be more disciplined whenever it comes to your writing. I originally started out and I wrote, for the first fantasy, I wrote out like 3 sentences per paragraph of the entire first book. I had what I wanted to happen in the beginning, what I wanted in the end, everything in between, and then I started writing it down, typing it up on the computer. And about halfway through, I realized that I wanted to change the opener, which you are completely allowed to do. This is your book that you are writing. You can change anything, any amount of times before you finalize it. That is not something you should panic about. And then a little bit of tips and tricks towards whenever, like, writing your first book. If you find yourself getting stuck, but you have, let's say you're a planner and you have the entire thing outlined of how you want it to go. Let's say you're stuck in chapter 3. Okay, well, you know what's going to happen in chapter 4. You just don't know how to get chapter 3 there. So hop on over to chapter 4, work on that for a little bit, and then hop back, see if you can tie them together. It's just a lot of little things. I don't want to like overwhelm you, but whenever it comes to finishing your first book, it is one of the best feelings and one of the worst feelings on the planet, because you feel like it can be better. You will always feel like your book will be better. Please understand that. But at the same time, you're like, look at how far I've come. And that's a very difficult thing as a writer to deal with, because as a writer, you keep wanting to progress in your writing. You keep wanting to make that next connection with the readers. You want to make that grabbing sentence for your opener. It's a lot. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, all you need to do as a writer is write. And if you find yourself getting really stuck where you just can't work on that story anymore, put it down. Make another one. Work with something else for a while. Sometimes you're just not meant to write a story at that time, and that's perfectly fine. And now that I have borrowed 8.5 minutes of your time to give you some tips and tricks and advice, I'm going to steal a few more moments to talk about the next projects I'm working on. Right now, my fantasy series, Alon, which you can find on Twitter. Well, you can't find like the book, but you can find the account that I run that drops character lore, creature lore, and all those random things at random times. I'll put the link down below. That one's first rough draft of book 1 is done. I've got somebody reading it, my sister-in-law, she's amazing, to help me edit it before I start on either rough draft 2 for it or book 2. And while I've technically got that one on the back burner, I'm starting another set of book. I say book because I don't know if it's going to be a one book thing or multiple. It's got a lot behind it, and I've got a lot more research to do. My grandmother was from south of New Orleans, and she was a practicing witch. And she has told me a lot of stories while I was growing up. She passed a lot of information on to me that I am going to now put into a book. That sort of got like that Vampire Originals energy to it, because well, from what she told me, they weren't that far off. And I hope to get working on that a bit more. I've literally just started my process of writing stuff out and getting my planning going. If you want, because I'm just starting this one, I can do a full writing series with this project, and I'll probably call it something, you know, like Project Something. I haven't decided yet. But comment down below if you want that, because I will do an entire series of like the writing process, the planning process, everything in between, for you guys, because I've realized that I spend a lot of time on BookTube watching other booktubers, and I'm like, I need to start doing better videos. But I'm going to go. I hope you guys have a great day and or night. It is currently 2:30 in the morning for me. I work overnights. This is my lunch. I'm going to make a quick video for my vlog channel, which I will also have linked down below. I hope you have an amazing day and or night. Remember, you are loved, valued, cherished, smart, and beautiful in your own ways. If nobody has told you today, I am proud of you. Bye. Also, comment down below if you want to see a series on book writing start to finish, because I got you. Also, subscribe if you'd like to subscribe. That is not a requirement, but I would like it. And give this video a big thumbs up if you could. Like I said, it's not a requirement. This is a free world. Do what you want to do. Love you. Wait, how did I? Love you.